Hey,
Hey, I like that intro. I like that intro. I
you
was
like the intro?
grooving.
Listen, we are live. I want to say hello and welcome to everyone. Welcome to Black Box Radio. Listen, I am so excited. We are in Bulacan, Philippines. It is amazing that we are stamping our digital passport. We are in the Men in Black series, and we do an International Sunday segment. So we wanted to start the Men in Black series this year for Black History Month in internationally. So we're in the Philippines. You see that brother there? He's in the Philippines. So this is so amazing. This is what technology does. So I want to welcome everyone. I'm Queen. I'm from Black Box Radio. We are a multimedia platform. We platform Black people. We expose Black genius, and we also disseminate information to our community and to other communities. What I want you guys to do is please like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you want to get in touch with us, hit us at blackboxradio@gmail.com. And listen, please subscribe to our YouTube. We're trying to build our YouTube up. And the more you're in the algorithm, the more we grow. So please, and also leave a comment. Make sure you leave a comment. So like, share, subscribe. I also want to say, everyone, happy Black History Month. If you're in the States, Kareem isn't in the States. This is Black History Month. But if you're in the States, happy Black History Month. But we know that Black history is not 29 days or 28 days. Black history is every day. We fueled this country, and we are culture. We are swag. We are everything. So I want to first talk about podcasting on this platform. You can have a podcast here. We will do the back office. If you have a show, you have a podcast, you have a blog, you just want to talk, hit us up at blackboxradio@gmail.com. We will foster that for me. We will do the back office. We have a Podmaster series where we also have a boot camp. If you've never podcast before, that's fine. If you are experienced in your season, that's fine also. So hit us up at blackboxradio@gmail.com and put new podcasts in the subject line. So listen, we're done with the business, guys. We are done with the business. We about to go in. So we're in the Philippines. I want you guys to see what this fine man right here did for us. So we're going to introduce his video that he sent to me for this series. So here it goes.
Hey, you guys, Kareem Jackson live on the set, and I'm here in the Philippines, you guys, from Manila, just outside Manila in Bulacan, Philippines, you guys, and I am kicking off Black History Month. I'm here at Coffee and Kareem, crazy excited to be the first of 8 phenomenal men at the whole entire Men in Black series, you guys, at Black Box Radio. I'm going to be there on Sunday. This is Eastern Standard Time at 7 p.m. That's 2:25. If you're in the Philippines, that's Monday morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning. So just keep that in mind. You guys, it's International Sunday, so I'm the international guy. So I'm here, and we're talking about Black wellness coffee as well, and all the other great stuff, how you can get free, how you can get out of the States, how Black is beautiful and wonderful, and we love Black culture, and happy Black History Month. And you guys, this is a Black History Month kickoff, but I'm not alone. I'm there, Kareem Jackson, of course. I'm proud to be there as well. But you know, Brother Kwame's there, Brother Maurice is there, Brother Sidney's there, Troy, Malcolm, and Jamal, and Brother Nati is also there, you guys. So 8 phenomenal men for 8 phenomenal episodes. Thank you, Black Box Radio, and tune in, you guys, and see the whole Coffee and Kareem thing. And if you guys notice why I'm sweating and everything like that, I'm in the Philippines island. It is summertime out here, baby. So anyway, I'm going to see you tomorrow, Black Box Radio, kicking off Black History Month for Men in Black. Cheers, you guys.
That's fly, Kareem. Thanks for that. I just wanted you guys to see what he made up as a promo, which is so fly. And listen, every Black History Month, we do something called Be More Black. And because we're from Baltimore, we're based in Baltimore. But this year, since our tentacles we're spread like mustard, and we're down south and we're doing some great things, I wanted to platform Black men. And it was important for us to give our ashe, our salute, our respect to Black men. They are the basis of our community. They are the shoulders that we all stand on in the Black community. So we wanted to give some love to Black men. So I have 8 Black men all month. I want you guys to tap in, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll see all of the when we actually go live. But this is the first. Kareem is opening the doors, the international doors of the box. So Kareem, welcome to Black Box Radio. Say hi to the people.
Hey, what's up, people? What's up, family? Happy Black History Month, sister. I'm so glad to be here. I'm gonna be all chipper because it's Monday morning in the Philippines, you guys. It's 8 in the morning, so we are already kicking off the week. So you're gonna be just relaxing, chilling. I'm like, 9 to 5 in the Monday morning. I'm at the studio, by the way, just outside Manila. That video was
Okay.
in my house, and I can't show you. It's Monday morning. This is my first show of the year in my studio. I came back to work for you, but I have no staff yet, so I can't show off. I can't.
That's fine.
It's a
That's
one
fine.
man
You don't have
shop
to show
today.
off. You don't have to show off. We're just really
I
happy to
can I
have
can't show
you.
you how black folks got studios up in Manila. That's what I mean. I can't like show you like
That's fine.
black folks is
That's fine.
doing stuff.
I
Yeah, we
listen.
everywhere.
You have a coffee company. You have a coffee company in the Philippines. Hand
Yeah,
picked coffee beans in the Philippines. That's spectacular. So first, I want you to kind of
yeah,
tell us
yeah.
where you're from in the states, and how did you get to the Philippines? We're gonna get to your coffee. So
Oh,
I want you
what?
to tell us how did you get to the
Oh my God.
Philippines,
Okay,
where you're
okay.
from in the U.S. Just give us a little acclamation about who you are.
Well, Kareem Jackson, you guys, black men, hello, black women, hello. Happy Men in Black series kicking off here. I'm glad that you guys are here. Please, as she said, if you're watching from my side of the world or my homies, you need to share, you need to like, you need to send this out there, and don't be messing around, because I'm looking. I don't see y'all need to put them likes up a little bit, because this sister's doing some great stuff. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. My family was born there from Kansas, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. My dad left when he was very young. My family, with the Haley's family, who did the Roots book, that's my godfather, my family as well. So the Jacksons and the Haleys, we all left, or they all left. I guess that was the 70s, and went to that. I guess it was a great return in the 70s. I don't know, or the Harvest Derby or Garvey went way back. They went back,
Mhm,
and the Roots
mhm,
book at that time. They wrote at my house, my family's house in Africa. My dad was there doing business with Kansas City. He couldn't get a break, so he was they were passport bros like forever ago. I was blessed. At 8 years old, my parents were divorced. You know how we are. We break up, and I got three stepmamas and three stepdaddies. You know how our folks be breaking up. But they got divorced. My mother,
mhm,
wonderful woman, and she's watching, so I'm giving her some. She told me make sure I mention this. That she let me leave and go live with my father, who had become very successful. And he was in Nigeria with business with his new wife. And at 8, got my first passport, got on a plane by myself, left Kansas City, and went to Africa to live with my dad. Went to American International School, and
hmm.
it changed my life. But if you can imagine all those black folks, celebrities, 60 years old, going through the great whatever, saying it changed my life, I touched the ground, all that, how we be doing. I did that at 8,
Hmm.
and I lived there for years. I went to elementary school there, came back to the States in the 6th grade, went to
Hmm.
California. My family became in business there as well. Um, but I grew up. I was blessed. I look back now, and if you're a parent and you're listening to this show, get your kid a passport, take them out
Yeah.
because I didn't have any of the blocks. I grew up because we were international, right? I grew up with Jody Watley. I was in the room when Barry White made his album. We would pick him up out of jail. We flew Cool in the Gang, Shalimar to Africa to do concerts when I was a kid. It's just a whole different world of Black American people, especially, and Black people doing stuff. So as a kid growing up, I was able to see you might get mad at her, but you can't say the teacher's prejudice because she's Black. You
Hmm.
might get mad, you can't cuss out the bank president and say he's racist. You took your money because he's Black. Everybody was Black. It was Black president, Black So I grew
Oh
up as
wow.
a kid without any of those barriers on my side, that slave mentality, American thing.
Mm-hmm.
That it used to be more black folks, but now you see with Trump and all this stuff, that white folks is feeling it now too.
Mm-hmm.
Now white folks is
Mm-hmm.
feeling marginalized. White folks is feeling, but back
Yep.
then, um, I grew up overseas at that time. I came back in elementary school, went to high school in the States. They didn't have high school like that back, in Africa. And it was a culture shock to me. Black folks were not into Africa yet. They were not into traveling yet. And I was in
Mm-hmm.
elementary school. They pronounced Nigeria niggeria back then, and Niger was nigger. And it kind of makes sense. If you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Like I can see how you could mess up that pronunciation actually. But they
Yeah.
didn't know kente cloth. They didn't know
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then of course the Haleys came back with the Roots book,
Yeah.
right? And then it became a movie and all of that. But when he came back, and Brother Haley, Senator Haley's also watched it, I think. He's a U.S. Senator in Kansas now.
Okay.
The one
Excellent.
that they call him, oh, that's what he did. That baby is now a U.S. Senator.
That's
Um,
beautiful.
but about 15 years ago, after the recession in the U.S., I had a company in Kansas City. We've been doing business development, tech development for 25 years. I had 100 employees. I had an office in downtown Kansas City, in the Firestone building. I was depressed as hell. I was in therapy
Mm-hmm.
Mondays and Fridays. I hit my ceiling. I was
Mm-hmm.
not that brother that didn't believe in therapy. I pay out of my pocket, girl. I was like, I need this help. And I wrote an article way back in the day about how therapists and accountants and lawyers and business for entrepreneurs is a necessity. Because I thought so strongly about the therapy, because you can't talk to anybody, because you can't show weakness as a black man, especially in business. You can't go to your secretary, oh, I'm depressed today. I don't want a person come in. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
celebrity. I'm a business person. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, what? Is my job secured? Right? And long story short, to jump how I got here and got into coffee, if you ask. In the recession, I was just sick of it. I was making a lot of money, doing very well. I launched the first black magazine in Kansas City history. My clients were Pepsi, Lexus, and Coke. We had publications, media, and I'd done everything. 100 employees, business office downtown, suits every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you something. When the recession hit, a white boy, two white boys that I worked with that were close to me, they're racist white boys. They cool, those racist white boys, but they cool with you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was at AT&T. There was three actually. One was at AT&T, one was at Kansas City Star, and one had his own business. The AT&T guy said, everybody's, because they were closing AT&T and Sprint. They laid off 30,000 employees and they
Oh wow.
bankruptcy. So they didn't pay their advertising bills to me. You know how you right. So my company was hurting, right? Recession hit. It was terrible, right? He said, well, Kareem, the truth of it is we're outsourcing to the Philippines. And I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Kansas City Star dude, who's not there no more, the former president and that company, who are our competitors, right? He said, Kareem, we're outsourcing to the Philippines. Meaning that the jobs weren't really leaving. They were just saying they were going. And so
Yeah.
then another friend of mine said, yes, Kareem, I opened a call center in the Philippines.
Oh
And
wow.
I was like, well, what am I missing? And so my company at that time, my partners, the issue that we had that ruined our company at that time, but now we got it back together now. They were against tech. If you could imagine
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, a black magazine media company with 500 advertisers, now we have 1,000 businesses in Kansas City that we have in our directory in that magazine and can't still own it.
Mm-hmm.
No websites. They were on MySpace, girl. They
Oh
were on
wow.
MySpace. Remember that? Think that. They were on, so when I
But
said we need
MySpace was the
$10,000
thing.
for a website,
It was the
they
thing.
thought I
MySpace
had,
was the thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the thing.
And I can't think of how we showed the magazine, but there was another something that was really ugly that you could read the magazine like this. And I was like, you guys, we need to get online. We need to be digital. It's coming. And in our business, the printers, we were slaves to our printers, girl. And they screwed black people. Printers, they knew you had to pay in advance. You had to pay extra. Where the white folks got credit and billing.
all that stuff. So long story short, I my development company published a magazine company, so I had the development company. So I outsourced my development company to the Philippines. I've never been to the Philippines, but I was like, I'm a numbers guy. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
so $1 equals $65 at that time.
Oh, wow.
So $1,000 equals 65. So now you hear about it all the time. I went abroad to Mexico. I'm living like a king. Well, I didn't care
Mm-hmm.
about that because I was living good already. I cared about my money with my staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying $75,000 per issue to print a magazine. I'm
Wow.
paying 3,000 a month for a house payment. I got 10,000 a month for office space down there. You know how it is. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, so you can tell me that I could pay 50% less or whatever it is just to print. And then the issue became, oh, but that's the Philippines, that's Asia, that's China. Their printing
Yeah.
sucks. It's not the
Mm.
quality. Remember we used to have the whiteboards. You look through the little glass, the pictures, and you had photo
Mm-hmm.
shoots and beauty trailers. Man, these Chinese folks knocked all that out the box. So I outsourced my logos. I outsourced my graphics initially. I outsourced my things like that. And I opened a studio in the Philippines. I'd never been here before. And then a blessing came, and we thought it was fake or fraud because it was too good to be true. But the president of the Philippines at that time asked our company to present for a marketing campaign for the Department of Tourism because our
Mm.
magazines were outsourcing. So now we were online, we were kind of in the mix,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow they found us. And there was like 100 of media folks. It wasn't just us, but we were the only Black Americans in there. I'll tell you that much. And Black folks. So we were like, this
Yeah.
got to be a scam. Did you know we Black in Kansas City? Does he think that we burst in rain, or does he know who we are? Because we don't want to walk in there, all these Negroes, and then you like, oh, he was like, and that's why. And I asked that question. I'm one of those brothers, and they were like, oh yeah, we know. We're hoping that we invited other Black companies. They didn't reply. I said we were hoping that you were because we want the Black. I can't think of how they worded it, but they saw it as Black folks. We can market. We can fix our image from being drug dealers and pimps to now we're presidents and movie stars and billionaires, right? So they were like, no, no, we want Black people. so um, So long story short, my company did a magazine. We did a presentation for marketing. The marketing proposal was to do a magazine for the country called the Philippines Magazine. We still own it to this day. And we launched the first magazine for the Philippines lifestyle and showcased them. And so they took back their own image because they were like, I think Black folks, we took our own image. We started protesting. We started putting out our own content. We started changing and only doing these parts. We explained how Black folks did it and first Filipinos started to wear black. So there's a connection that I didn't even know back then with the situation. So long story short, we published it, but I did the whole deal because I could not believe that you could do a magazine on Facebook, online, when Zoom wasn't around yet. PayPal had just came out. Nobody trusted
Mm-hmm.
them, right? We were
Yeah.
Western Union money.
What year
You
was
know what I'm
this?
saying?
What year was this? What year was this? Like
This
19?
is 15 years ago. This is so not that long
Okay.
ago, but but
Okay.
you would think it was 100 years ago. It was like, no, this is 15 years ago. Um,
15 years ago.
um,
Okay.
Maybe 12 years ago. So when we got the magazine, we did it, but I did the whole deal because I said, if you tell me if I can do this, print it, design it, edit it, and then they can ship it to my house. I was living in California at that time and I was changing my life. I was going through it. I was running the company from my laptop because I did put the company online. We broke up our partnership. It was a mess. I was going through a whole lot of crap. But this was the only silver lining in my whole situation. I said, so if they ship
Okay.
this magazine from the Philippines, from Asia to me on my, I was living on a boat at that time in California. I was waiting tables, the Cheesecake Factory, reinventing myself. I said, this would change the whole game. So we don't need the offices, we don't need printers, we don't need graphics, we don't need to see you. And now it's normal.
Yeah.
Outsourcing is normal. Now it's very popular. Back then, and they did, and it was beautiful, and I was blown away. And then I got a plane ticket. We went gung ho in the Philippines deal. Got investors. I got a plane ticket and went and saw the Philippines for my first time to hand deliver the magazines to the Department of Tourism and the Malak Young Palace offices, and with some celebrity friends that I'd met. And I got off the plane and I thought, they have really lied to us. That was my first emotion. I said, they have lied to us. They lied on these people. They're right. The marketing's wrong. It's all a scam. And I got off the plane. Trump Tower was just building the Trump Tower. Paris Hilton was just doing it. Those were my first clients. He wasn't crazy back then, but he was building a Trump Tower here. Yeah. And that was one of my first clients. It wasn't him building, it was another family, but it was his brand. Yeah. Paris Hilton was doing a resort beach, fabulous man-made beach thing, here, which is open now. And Western Union was here. I was, Fubu was here. Krispy Kreme donuts, Kenny, I was like, and they're all 5-star.
So let me ask you
7-Eleven is 5-star here.
How much money did you have? How much money did you have when you get off the plane?
Jesus Christ. Okay. This is crazy. I'd done some deals. I had pre-invested, like I said, here. But by the time, and when you're trying to leave America, the devil be throwing stuff at you, sister. The devil, my car broke down. They want me to fix it, have me a little roaster. Some computer chip messed up or some crazy crap. I was like, a computer chip. And they want all my money. And then something else happened. And finally I said, you know what? I'll never get out of here if I don't do this right now. So I said, come pick up the car. I started selling everything. And I think by the time I got done and got there, my luggage was over limit. I had to pay some money for over limit. You know how we'd be packing too much stuff. I had $500.
You had $500.
I had a deal that owed me some money. They never paid me. Yes, ma'am. I left America with $500 in a plane ticket.
And so how much is $500 in the Philippines?
About $25,000. So that's about the monthly salary of a college graduate in the Philippines.
Oh, so you was rich when you got off the plane. Wow.
I didn't know that at the time, but when I cashed that money in, I was like, I gotta get security. I got 25,000, on my in cash, and I'll tell you, that's part of where I thought they lied to us. I'm killing myself. I'm making $1 million a year. I'm netting 100,000 plus or whatever I was doing as a CEO. I can't remember, but I had an Escalade. I had a Tahoe. I had this, how we be doing it, right? I was like, I'm that brother, right? Killing myself. Yeah. And I got off the plane and realized, because remember, all the white folks is here. Remember, Trump was here. AT&T was here. Yeah, all of them. I got off the plane. I went to the printer that were printing my magazines. I swear to God, if I'm lying, they showed me the New York Times magazine as a sample in Manila, because they're the ones printing it. So I started sitting there thinking, all the Black fashion designers, all the Black, creators, all the Black movie producers I knew that were killing themselves back home, and to come here and to realize they do a little bit in America. They might assemble the car. They might have a couple of businesses here, but the money they're making, the year that I left was the year that I think Magic Johnson made more money outside of America than he made in America in his products. Little things like that were coming up. And so, yeah, $500, but it was hell, girl. I was stressed out. It wasn't like I was cool. That first week was the bomb.
But you left with $500. You had a dream, and you didn't know a soul in Philippines. Did you know a lot of people?
I'm very good at networking. I'm very good at developing. So I wouldn't say I just left and just was like whatever, but I was willing to leave and do whatever, because I figured I could be broke anywhere, because I was rich broke. Think about it. You can be having the best suit in the world in America. You be driving that Tahoe in that big ass house. Don't work for a week. We all learned in COVID. If you didn't wake up in COVID to your situation, you ain't gonna never wake up. But in the Philippines, did nobody get no bailout? Did nobody get no money? We was at home happy as hell. Everybody.
So no one got a check. No one got a check.
Nobody got evicted. No one lost. Think about it. They're so poor, so this, so whatever, but they live better. They have more
Mm,
resources. So when I came, I had not vetted and tested these people. Now, you know how things can go left. But I had
yeah.
networked. I had already invested. I had a website. I had meetings lined up. I knew the U.S. ambassador at that time was appointed by Obama, and
Mm-hmm.
he was a black man named Harry Thomas. David Youngblood was a big U.S. Attorney, by now in D.C. right next to the White House, about to retire now. Who was here? His brother was a doctor. So I was networking because I was at a magazine. I was in media. I could leverage it to get meetings and stuff. But I had to hustle. I was walking the streets with a backpack, selling ads, you know,
So
doing
let me ask you a
consulting.
question. How are Black people received? Because we're talking about Asian space, we're talking about the Philippines. So the population is Filipinos. Yes, Black Filipinos were first, but we now have Asians in the space. So how did they receive you? How were you? Did they treat you differently?
You know what? Part of the scam that I thought America is that, one, let me tell you this: Black people, we can live anywhere on earth. They can't. Everybody can. Another thing, Black folks, we are always fighting with white folks. That's our problem. And it's white folks' problem too. We're so into black and white that we don't
Mm-hmm.
realize there's a whole world of humans that God has created out here. Black
Hmm.
America is number 10 in the whole world of economies, maybe 15, 10, something like that. But this year, when all the black women like you were doing stuff, we going to rise because that ain't including all the black women degrees. So when you travel the world and you land in that plane, first of all, they love black people.
Mm.
There is no racism in the Philippines at all. People will tell you there is. I said they ain't been to America. Now, colorism, fatism, bigism, ghettoism, okay, okay. But racism, one, it's the opposite. In most places on earth, but especially here, there is black American privilege in the Philippines.
Whoa.
I landed, I had 25,000 pesos cash, $500, and I had black privilege. I could go into any senator's office without an appointment. I can go to the mayor of my city's home right now without an appointment through his security gates and say, "Good morning. I brought you some coffee, brother." A Negro can do that. I can go up to any police person and say, "I'm lost. Can you show me how to,
And why do you think that
black
is?
privilege?" Oh, let me give you another one. Let me give you another black privilege. Remember, I said I printed my magazine. Remember that?
Hmm.
No credit check.
Wow.
Zero credit check. I had credit. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was $15,000 to print, like which was 75,000 in America. No
Hmm.
credit check. Mailed it to my house. Sent me. I did not pay for my plane ticket, sister. That was
Wow.
also sponsored. There's black privilege, and it's not because we're black like white folks. It's because they're white, and because maybe they have money. So if they don't have money and they don't have their whiteness, they don't have much. That's their
Yeah.
insecurity. Black folks, we are really liked.
Mm.
We ain't gotta have no money. I did not have no money, but we cool. We can bring you- a black American can land in the Philippines and go get a job waiting tables at a local ghetto, sorry, on the dirt restaurant and make it
Mm.
pop. Everyone
Really?
knows it. We forget about they see YouTube too. They see Nicki
Mm.
Minaj, Beyonce too. They see
Mm.
Red movies, Will Smith, Obama. They see all that we see.
Yeah.
So we
Without the
forget that when they
colorism.
see it,
They see it without
they
the colorism
realize,
and the racism. They see it without all of that. Oh, so it's a different
thank
lens.
you. So
Yeah.
they
Okay.
like, if I'm gonna get married, instead of having a Filipina do my makeup like Cardi B, if I could get a Cardi B looking black girl from Chicago that's in the Philippines do my makeup, or even an African girl, oh, get her. So
Really?
the
That's
privilege
amazing.
is
That's amazing.
I could bill double. I was paid double for my work here, So I'm not greedy, so I was able to work less.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's black privilege. There's if you want to get an apartment or a condo, remember I had a place to stay, no credit check. no background check, no discrimination. You got your passport, maybe they ask for that, especially if you're an American, right? But all they say is you got the money, and they're happy as hell. You hear it's like hello, well, it ain't no rudeness. And what happens is that black folks need to realize when there's no racism, the level of people you deal with raises up. You don't have to
Mm.
do the rap. You ain't got to be dealing with those little folks that can't pay your business, that can't pay you what you want, that can't pay you what you deserve. Because when you get out here, you a white boy,
So,
and
so
you're above the white boys in many ways in the Philippines as a black American. In many ways, you're above the white guy, and he
hmm,
knows it. Like if the white guy's here in the meeting, oh, he ain't. There's no racism. Remember,
yeah.
so he knows he's sitting there like, please don't call me out. Don't tell I'm only a teacher back home and I ain't shit. I got a little money. Please don't, or they
Yeah.
need to really do something. And black folks, Black History Month, we always look at the history and that's great, but we don't look at the present. We always argue between ourselves, sister. They criticize Cardi B. They criticize all these people. You know how the world sees black people, especially black men and women alike? We can do everything. That's how they see it. We can do gospel. We can do country. We can do hoochie. We can.
Mhm.
A black girl can just walk through the damn thing with her titties out, shaking her ass, and not have nobody else in the video. That's what
Listen,
they
listen,
see.
Kareem,
We can do drug
fun
dealing.
fact.
We can do rap. We can do restaurants. They look at black folks like, what are y'all not in?
But listen, let me. This is a fun fact. I saw a video today, and it was two guys talking, two Asian guys, and Asian guy asked another one, what would you change your life to be? And he said, a black man. They can jump out the
I
roof.
sent you that. Right?
They
You
got
should
all the
play that. When
style.
you have it to play, can y'all play it?
I don't have
Because
it, but I
they
could not believe that. He said, I
they
want to
not
be.
gonna believe me. They don't believe me. That's
He said, I
exactly the
want to be a
attitude.
black
And
man.
he's
Wow, I couldn't believe it.
Chinese. He wasn't even Filipino.
Yes, he was Chinese. Yep,
And
yep,
the other guy was from Russia or something,
yep. I couldn't believe it. I
right?
said,
But the
wow.
truth of it is, and you did you hear? But you hear? He answered why? Did you listen to the end of it? He said why he wanted to be a black man.
Yeah.
Do you remember that part?
He said that you can jump out the roof. They can jump out the sky. What was
So they
something
can
else he
jump
said?
high and Batman. They like everybody loves
And they can
basketball
have
because of
sex
white folks.
longer with your. He said a bad word. He said they can have sex with your woman. He said it real raw, and he said something else. I forgot, but I couldn't believe
They
it. He
can,
said that.
and it's exactly true.
Wow.
It's exactly true. Um,
And
and
they
it's
can
a
do
really
everything.
nice
And that's what he
feeling.
said. He said they could do everything. That's exactly what he
It's
said.
a
I couldn't
really
believe
nice
it.
feeling. Yes, a really nice feeling to be able to be enough. And for black men, part of
Mm,
our mental health issues is that we never feel like we're enough. So
wow.
when you're somewhere like this, even more than Africa, 'cause I lived in Africa too. Remember, I grew up there and went to school there, and I want to do other investments there too. But the difference is it's black folks. So you really
Yeah.
don't get that separation. Here, you realize how good you are.
Yeah.
Like
In
most
Africa,
black men,
everybody's great. Everybody's
they got
black.
their
Everybody's great.
podcast, they by themselves. Most
Mm,
black businesses are solopreneurs. And then when you're in
mm,
America, they make you feel bad because it's just you.
yeah.
Oh, you're just a solopreneur. Or if it's just you, you're not really an entrepreneur. I'm like, bullshit.
Hmm.
Everybody in the world wishes they could make $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year alone.
Mm,
But we take it for granted in America if we're making $50,000, $100,000 a year by ourselves on our secretary services, our tax services, our little Instagram, whatever. We all got to be
hmm,
billionaires and millionaires. We don't appreciate the fact that everybody else in the world sees. So you ain't got to work for nobody.
mm.
They see us like, damn, black people. So you can answer the phone, do the video editing, look cute, dance, get dressed up, go to. They got 15 employees to do that.
We can
One, you can, and it's a
multitask and
joke
make it
around
happen.
here. That it's a joke in the Philippines. They say, how many? We say niggas, but they don't say niggas. But the black
I
folks
don't say
say
niggas.
niggas. Translate.
No.
They say, how many black folks does it take to screw in a light bulb? One. Because here the joke is you'll go to a business here like McDonald's, they got 30 employees on staff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it's an army. Like you don't want, remember that you don't clean nothing, you don't do nothing. They just, right? It's 30 of them. Where you go to America, they got two, three people on the ship, right?
Yep.
So the
Yep.
joke here is that if you want to do something, you get one black person. He will do
Wow.
it all. And in America, they make us feel bad about that, right? You got to
Right.
grow. You need employees. If you want to get grants, if you want to get business discounts, you got to have so many employees, right? But
Yeah.
you look at guys like Donald Trump, he only got 8 employees. Truthfully,
Yeah.
everything else is
And his system
outsourced. He
around
was just ahead
him.
of the game. And it's his
Exactly.
family too. So he only got really two or three employees.
Yes.
He leverages everybody else's, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they don't teach black folks that. But when you're here with no racism, and I mean American racism, I don't mean discrimination, I don't mean
Mm-hmm.
none of that, because they do have that. Not
Yes.
much, but they do have that. They have their own colorism, but now Miss Universe Philippines is a black girl, a black
Mm-hmm.
Filipina girl. So they're
Mm-hmm.
waking up to. But the truth of it is, you can thrive. And you also realize, black men, that you're enough, which means you don't have to make any more money. You don't have to learn anything new. You don't have to go to school anymore. You don't have to do anything. You can come right to a country like this, or even Ghana, African countries too, but especially like a Philippines country or an Asian country, because there ain't none of us, right? And you can just be a dance instructor. That's it.
Wow.
And make enough money to have a driver and a cook and a little apartment and focus on your mental health and your physical health and your kids. You ain't got to
Hmm.
work. I haven't done laundry in over 10 years.
Whoa. Wait a
I ain't
minute,
even
Kareem.
got a stove in my
Kareem,
house.
wait a minute.
I
Wait a
don't
minute.
cook.
Wait a minute, Kareem. You don't wash your drawers.
No, no, no.
Wow. But that's so amazing. So let me ask a question. Like with
And I'm sorry. I said that really arrogant. I said it really sassy. Let me say more masculinely. No, I don't, because I haven't had time. I can focus on other things.
you know, well, that's
Not
great.
laundry,
Listen, you
not
can be
cutting the
sassy.
grass, not washing the car, not waxing the car on my weekends. I can focus on yoga, travel, things like that. Let me
Yeah,
not
yeah,
say it
yeah.
all sassy. But
Well,
no,
sassy
I
doesn't
have
matter.
not.
You have not. I love it. So let me ask a question. Like, if you were to come there and you wanted to say, what is it it's to live per month? Like, if you had an apartment, you had a
I
car,
came with $500. So let
and
me tell
what?
you, let me tell you, give you another secret too that I did do. And I have a book about this on called Outsource Everything on Google Play and the App Store, by the way, and at creamantonio.com. But I did a whole book about this. I forgot about it. Um, I became a minimalist before I left, though.
Mm-hmm.
I was very consciously becoming a minimalist. I had a 3,000 square foot house or something,
Mm-hmm.
10,000 square foot office spaces, 100 employees. I had Tahoe, Escalade, and then I broke down and downsized and got me a convertible roadster, like a Chrysler convertible two door back in the day. I forgot what Spitfire, whatever it's called. Um, but I consciously wanted to stop being a slave to the system. So I went and waited table. I still had my company. So they thought I was crazy, actually, taking off my suit in the boardroom and then going to wait tables at Cheesecake Factory. But I'll tell you what I did. I'm a numbers guy. I went to school to be an accountant. I was in the U.S. Air Force to be an accountant. I didn't stay very long, but I love numbers. I love numbers. Like I look at a sheet and I get excited. I was making six figures plus myself, not my business, but myself. But I was broke and in debt. Okay. So I kind of figured I'm only living off $1,000 a month anyway. At the end of the day, if someone said, Kareem, because they would do that, let's go out and drink, but you need cash. You I got $100. Now, if I
Mm-hmm.
use a card or if I go borrow from somebody, I can pay you back and go to the bank and get because I had a banker, right? But if I said really and truly, I'm only living off $500,000. Everything else is for this dream: suits, ties, bills, travel, Houston for lunch, Ruth Chris for lunch, business meetings. Everything was into this slave shit. So I was like, I want to learn how do waiters live? Like, how do you live off of that? And I consciously waited table with the Cheesecake Factory. I would go in my suit. I would change in the bathroom. I put on the white uniform. I worked in Kansas, Overland Park, and then I was transferred. I was a number one waiter. You know, niggas. Now I was the first Negro in the Kansas Cheesecake Factory. Number one, I made about 22% tips averagely. They audited me all the time. I had awards. Remember, I was a CEO waiting tables, but I was making 1,000 a week. So I literally left my business, waited tables, downsized my life. Like I'm sick of that. I was like, I was like, if people thought they didn't know what was going on with me. I was going to commit suicide. They didn't know what I was doing, but I was sick of it. And the reason I say that is that if you can get your life down to what you really care about, you can live anywhere in the world for $500, $1,000. The issue is us. Even when we travel, we want to live better than we lived in America. We don't want to say, bro, I'll tell you another thing I looked at. My dream was to retire on a beach with a Mai Tai. That was my dream. Like I was doing all this to have enough money to retire on the beach. But then when I started looking around and when I came to look at my staff here in my office, when I came the first time, I was like, folks on the beach, we criticize it in America. But Filipinos who live on a beach, fabulous, beautiful beach like you see in the pictures, they making $500 a month. The whole family.
So you can
So
live
why
for
do we need all this
$500 a month.
money?
So you
That
can
the
live
whole
for
family.
500 a month there. So you can live for
If you
$500 a month.
decide that you don't need all that stuff. So if you
Okay.
really want to get free, and when you get older, you don't have nothing anyway, right? You're in an old
Right.
folks' home, you're sick, you're in a bed.
Mm-hmm.
So why not create that reality now? That's what I was thinking. I said,
Mm-hmm.
worst case scenario, I just live on the beach and call my friends and I can borrow $500. you know,
Yeah.
I could figure. So in the back of my head, when I went to meetings, when I did deals, it was like I could walk away because I was like, the beach is already here. I could retire now. So I just want to say that caveat to say that if we get rid of all the slave crap, entrapments, and wealth that we have in America, you don't need the microwave, you don't need the refrigerator, you don't need those marble tops, you don't need that stuff. And sister, you may not realize this, but I think you have sons. You mentioned you have sons, right?
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Not me.
so you must not young to some around, maybe. But my point is, black men are the number one guys in old folks' home by themselves, dying sick.
Wow.
It ain't women. It ain't black women. It's black men. So black men, stop spending all your money on women and all that crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to end up in a bed anyway. So while you're
Wow.
healthy, go get that bed in a third world country. Remember, and when you get there, sister, all white people. You at the beach like, how the hell are we so late? All white people, everybody.
Wow. Wow.
And
That's
you like, this is what they mean when they say snow bunnies. These folks, they were teachers, they making $1,500 a month in retirement, living
mhm.
on the beach like kings.
Yeah.
And we ain't figured, and living in Africa too. There's more whites living in Africa than black Americans.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know,
I think a lot of times, Kareem, we live where we're familiar, and unfortunately, we're so traumatized. It's very hard for us to look past our space and to say, okay, I can go to another space and start over. My family's here, and we live in trauma, and trauma is something. It clouds your judgment, and you don't think that you could do something outside of what you're familiar. So, what I hear from you is, listen, stop living with the trappings, throw all that stuff you got away and get on a plane and start and do something else and do something different. That's what I'm hearing from you. And that's what you did. So how did you get into coffee? Now, because we are here because you have a black wellness coffee brand. And so a
Yeah.
black man in coffee. So you're the black man, you're the black Starbucks in the Philippines. So kind of tell us how you got into coffee.
Okay. Funny enough, I've been in development for 25 years. Been doing it. When I came to the Philippines, I wasn't that guy that needed to live high on the hog. I minimalized my life to what allowed me to work part time and make the same amount of money or keep the same lifestyle that I did back home. But Philippines 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even though it's like Africa and Brazil and the Philippines, even though they're coffee countries, even Africa, they don't
Yeah.
drink coffee. Now they're getting into it, but it ended up being that I realized that they don't drink coffee because again, we have ruined them and so they're drinking Nescafe. They're drinking Starbucks is here. They're drinking all this fake stuff and not
Mhm.
realizing they're thinking it's bougie. I'm like an American. I'm at Starbucks. You know, you can close a 10 million, 25 million peso house deal at a Starbucks here. You know, you
Mm,
take the client to Starbucks. It's really bougie, you know. They're
really?
killing us. So now that all the health things have happened in America and we've been getting sick and the food is fake, now they're realizing here. And two things happened. I didn't have it. I almost died actually when I first came. I don't talk about it a lot in my marketing with my coffee. I almost died. Like I don't remember if I went to the ambulance, but I was at the hospital and it was just crazy. And it ended up being that I came here. Remember, now we rich. We're rich now. So you drinking Starbucks every day. And when they get the Nest Cafe they make for you, then you like, okay, well, put a little extra in because put a little extra. I got money.
Yeah.
Man, between that and white rice, I had a sugar overload. I almost died in 2 weeks. You hear me? I was here 2, 3, 4 weeks,
Diabetes.
collapsed at a Starbucks,
What?
like shaking, like, what the fuck? And the doctor immediately said, are you drinking 3-in-1 and eating white rice? Because we black folks, they know he knew, right?
And it turns to
I'm
sugar.
sorry, what happened? I'm sorry, here we go. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
Sorry. Um, so then I said, yeah, I am. He goes, we can't, you need to stop that. You ain't used to that. They drink it here all the time, 3 or 4 cups a day, like Americans do. So they're used to it. But they got diabetes, they got gout. So long story short, that time there was no brewed coffee really. It was very expensive. It was only Americano at Starbucks. I don't know, why is my screen leaving?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I got my own. I had to pay a
Mhm.
fortune. I was in the Philippines buying Folgers, and it's like $25 here. I was like, what? For some
Oh,
damn
wow.
Folger from my hometown of Kansas City. I was like, you got to be out of your, but that's all you had. And I had to get a
Yeah.
coffee pot. Or I would go to a country club or, things like that. And
So
I
you were
would
a coffee guy.
actually,
You like coffee. So you're a
yeah, I'm a
coffee
coffee
person.
guy.
Okay. Okay.
So I always had it. And then Department of Tourism of the Philippines is one of my sponsors here for the magazine media company. So they would start after COVID, they really got into health food. So they would fly me to these fabulous island resorts that were farms, and some of them were coffee farms.
Oh, wow.
I had this coffee. It wasn't like didn't look like this, but I had this coffee um, before, and it was just for we do wellness retreats in the Philippines. So we have ladies and guys that come.
Hmm.
I don't know why it's doing that. We have ladies and guys that come and take these wellness retreats, but we add the coffee just for my studio, just for the retreats. It wasn't like out in the world, right? But I wanted to
Right.
make sure that we wouldn't do this stuff almost killed me when you came on these wellness retreats, which is what everybody else does, right? They just give you these these little Nest Cafe. And
Hmm.
but the last ladies retreat we had last year, now the DOT flew me out and asked me to help them a few times. But the last retreat that we did, um, my mother came, and it was an old lady retreat, 70 plus, 65 plus ladies, all single, all rich, came
Oh,
for a
wow.
wellness retreat. 3-time cancer survivor, sickle cell survivor, all kind of stuff, but older women, single, right? So these women, they have the coffee, of course, at the retreat, and they don't like coffee. Older Black American women don't really like coffee that much. And so during the retreat, They loved the coffee they got. They never liked it. They were here for the retreat for wellness. After a week or so, they were off their high blood pressure medication in the Philippines now. They were having, remember, they didn't cook now, like me. They don't cook, they don't do laundry, they do nothing. They had people making healthy food every day, all day, fresh fruits, fresh veggies. They were regular. They didn't need medication to go take a poop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up being that they were like, what's this coffee? And they
Mm.
ended up buying the whole company out of coffee and took it back to the States. All these
Okay.
labels, right? So we were like, well, damn, we don't actually have stock. Like we just kind of do it for display. We have our own water at the studio, so we have
Mm-hmm.
our own water,
Okay.
but we don't really sell it. You know what I mean? Like, and it comes in bottles too. But see,
Yeah, I see.
but we don't really sell it. Man, these ladies went back home. Let me give credit to Black women again. These ladies went back home. They got investors for us. They put some money together. They invested for us to really invest in a coffee company because they were
Mm.
so surprised. Because in America, we can't ship our coffee to America because it's too healthy.
Oh,
So when they went back to America, and one of them works at Price Chopper, Price Chopper. One of them, so they're connected. And
so
then
wait a
the
minute.
other
Wait a
people
minute.
that
Hold up.
came on,
Hold up, Kareem. You said you cannot ship coffee to
no,
America because it's too healthy. What do you mean by that?
no. America blocks wellness coffee. The coffee you're getting in America has pesticides. They actually germinate the trees. They have geo trees or something they do. It's not really. There are good coffees. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
so that it can be consistent, so that we can scale it, so we can control it, they do a lot of crap. It's not like and it's a fruit. It's coffee's a fruit. So we end up going gung ho, like, wait a second, we're doing shows, we're doing development, and now that we got sponsorship, and they got about $10,000 investment. So we were like, okay, you got our attention. Let's look at this damn coffee. And it
Mm-hmm.
ended up being, we looked at it, and it was well. And remember, the DOT has already flown me out. They've already supported me. So I was like, God is telling me something. And I looked
Yes.
at the numbers and I realized, one, I'm the only Black guy in Asia in coffee. And there's not many Filipinos in coffee either.
Mm.
So it ain't, those people, those folks, they take their coffee too. There's a lot of them at these coffee farms also. When I go and visit these farms, white folks are already there. Oh, yeah. And not even American white folks, British, Australian, European white folks. So
Mm-hmm.
again, we're late, right? So I ended up being talking to the farmers. They were like, yeah, they get our coffee as green beans. They take them to their countries. They cook them or and themselves or roast them themselves and they grind them themselves. And then they don't even tell anybody where they get it from. They claim it as their own. Starbucks, Nestle, even American coffee shops, right? If you think about it, he said, that's why we don't sell to them. He said that it's offensive. Our family's been doing this for 300 years. We got 100-year-old trees here. We bust our
Wow.
butt, and you can only harvest coffee once a year. So if you get the harvest as a bean, as a cherry, and you take it, and then all of a sudden, when you take the bean and then you take it to America or wherever, and you roast it yourself and you cook it yourself, and then now it's Starbucks or now it's Joe's coffee shop. All you did was cook it.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened with
You didn't.
Starbucks. Starbucks has a lot of partnerships in Africa. That
Mhm.
the beans are not coming out of out of America, but you never hear about those farmers. You might hear that they're buying from them, but you
And
don't
they
hear
cut
about
them
their
out in
farm.
the beginning.
Yeah.
What I do is the farmers I work with, I let them roast. I let them grind. I let them. They do my packaging. They make my jars, and then I sell it and market it and do my part. And I'm really criticizing the coffee industry, but I believe that black and brown coffee, because remember, there's no white coffee. They forget us. That's what they do. They whitewash, and they
Yeah.
realize no, the money is in. It don't need to be all fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Real coffee, drank in black, will heal you. And if you
Mm.
travel the world, like in the Philippines, it's not some Starbucks, McDonald's thing. It's like smoking weed. You can get together with some coffee in the jungle with some Filipinos and have a conversation. They may not know much English, but they know how to. Do you want a coffee? They know that. You know, so it's one of those
Wait a minute.
uniting things.
Spin back. You said that coffee can heal you. What do you mean by that?
Yes,
That's a heavy statement.
coffee has
And coffee ain't
24
healing
ways. It
nobody in
liver.
America.
Oh yeah,
Nobody.
not your coffee. Your coffee can't do
Mm-mm.
it. Yeah. Which is why they get rid of it. And it's very, think about this. Coffee has God made caffeine. Everyone knows that. So why are you drinking 5 hour energy drink? Why are you drinking all these chemicals when you could just literally just go get a shot of coffee if it was real, not fucked up? And so why is that? So then if you're not putting the other crap in your body, you're not getting diabetes, you're not getting gout, you're not getting liver damage, right? So when you drink black coffee, it cleans your liver. And the way that black and brown people make their coffee, they dry it in the sun. They don't use machines like we do. So then what, or they don't, so then what they do is, and now that's why you have vitamin D in the coffee.
In the
You
coffee
have
bean. Yeah.
minerals in the coffee, right? So when you
Wow.
drink, and it's a fruit, don't forget, it's no different than if you eat watermelon, it's healthy. If you eat mangoes, it's healthy. So coffee's the
Hmm.
same, but
Hmm.
we just don't know about that. And it actually has 24, and it keeps you regular. And when you're young, y'all don't know what that means. But when you get older, being regular for some people is an effort. It might take
It is.
medication,
It's
right?
true. That's true. That's
Especially if
true.
you're on other medications that dehydrate you, right? So if you have
Yeah.
coffee, then, you know,
Wow.
and it's not fake. You don't need a chemical to do it. You don't need to
Yeah.
contract anything. Plus, now in the Philippines and other countries, all the trash you see, all those packets of one-use packages, plastic sachets, and all that stuff, right? Coffee, coffee grounds. You put them in your plants. You put them in your garden. There's no trash.
Yeah.
So
It's
now they're
eco-friendly.
realizing that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's, but they block it in the states. We're trying to get FDA this year, um, because of those reasons, and we're marketing it
Wow.
as wellness. We don't market it as coffee. We're actually anti-coffee culture in America. We're anti-coffee culture. That's how
Wow.
they steal it. Yeah, they
Hmm.
steal it from us by saying the African beans and Filipino beans were nothing until I roasted them in my machine, and then I did this and I ground it fine and coarse and this and I dark roast it, I light roast it. You can actually sit up, use a get a coffee, put it in the coffee press, and drink
Mhm.
it and get all the health benefits.
And
You
get all the
don't
health
need
benefits.
none of that. Yeah, you don't need. I'm like the real roasters use fire in a pan, a wok. It's not a
Wow.
machine. So
Mm.
all of these things, when you don't do it the right way, the traditional way, yeah, you don't have all the benefits. All you
So
have
we
is the
see.
taste.
So what we see in Starbucks, like when I go get my caramel latte, I don't go there often. I'm not because it's too much sugar. They make a lot of sugar, so there's nothing healthy in it. It's actually fattening. These lattes are fattening, and then also you add so much sugar. They have sugar to add and all these things. These additions, mocha. You can add any syrup, and syrup is sugar.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing from you is
And
this
why do you need that stuff? That's the
because
scam.
we're addicted to sugar.
Because it's because no, because their coffee's not good. They
It's
burn it.
not good, and we're addicted to
They
sugar, and
burn
they
the
know it.
coffee so
Yeah,
that they can wipe out the taste.
but when you
So
don't
so
have that,
Americans are used to burnt coffee.
yeah, but we
So you
don't know
have to
that.
have sugar.
So that's the point of it.
Well,
We don't have a template. We don't know that we're drinking burnt coffee. We don't know that the coffee isn't good. We think that's coffee because that's what
yeah.
we are introduced to. See, you know the difference. So we think going to Starbucks is coffee, a cup of Joe is coffee, but really we're getting chemically enhanced coffee beans. Am I correct?
Some what they do is they don't want the farmers to make a lot of money long term. So they give them trees that don't last for 100 years.
Mm,
That's what happens. I don't know
mm,
how it all works. They also use pesticides, which everyone American knows that now, which means
yeah,
they kill all the bees.
Yeah.
So it's not even germinated naturally. So you're
Mhm.
even missing the pollen. You're missing the whole
The process.
ecosystem of the
Yeah.
farm. It is
Yeah.
why people drink the coffee for wellness. And you can lose weight with real coffee. But yes, they put the sugar and stuff in there to hide the taste because real coffee, again, should not taste the same. If you buy a jar of this today and then you buy one next month, it will taste similar, but it probably won't be the same. That's the
Mm.
whole way that you know it's real. It's a fruit. Every strawberry does not taste the same, I hope. Some are
You're
sweeter than
right.
others, some are better. So then you learn, well, I better buy them mangoes before they get old because I like it when it's, you learn when to buy your stuff. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
it should also mold. Americans like, oh, I got my coffee, there was mold. I know that's terrible and maybe you can't use it, but that lets you know it's real.
Hmm. Yeah.
But when you think about this in America,
Mold
Burger
don't
King
grow on
has
a
that
McDonald's
ad, the
hamburger.
moldy burger. Say it again.
You never see a mold. You never see mold on a McDonald's hamburger. Never.
So think about this. So Burger
The
King can
chemical.
do an ad campaign to show mold on their burger to prove their burger is healthier than McDonald's. Now tell me, I mean, it's great. I get the visual. I'm in marketing. That's what I do. It's a great ad campaign, but it's a very sad state of American food.
Yeah. It is.
And
It is.
black folks, we're leaders in it. I'm working with the Department of Tourism. Our campaign is actually called Got Coffee. If you ever heard of Got Milk in America, that
Yeah.
Got Milk campaign, I was on the team that did that Got Milk campaign way back in the day. I stole it for this. Got Coffee, promoting it. Yeah, I stole it. I worked there, so they didn't pay me enough anyway. I think I was a volunteer or something. I think I forgot. I
You
was
don't be
young.
telling on
But
yourself. Don't tell on yourself.
hey,
So
I'm
got
another
coffee.
country. But
That's
Got
true. So,
Coffee,
hmm.
come get me. But Got Coffee teaching the country about real coffee and do not follow our footsteps. You watch black folks, you love black folks, you know that we're actually having issues right now with our health and the food quality. So my whole pitch is wake up to your own coffee. It's your coffee. They're taking it and messing it up, but you have it right here in your backyard. So our company, to be honest, we do want to ship to the US a little bit because people that want to buy our coffee, but we're investing to have the number one coffee in the Philippines. We're marketing and networking now to become the official coffee of the Philippines, and we use Filipino farmers. So we're not lying. I do not know how to farm coffee. We showcase the farmers, or we know the farmers, or we promote the product. And we don't get discounts. We don't ask for quantity discounts. We don't do any of that stuff. We pay them what they want, and we show them how to stay in the chain.
Hmm.
They roast, they grind, they do it. So they don't, because Americans, we cut them out of that,
Hmm.
and that's why they get screwed. It's not they don't buy the beans for a good price, but they don't realize, white folks, when you get the orange is just an orange unless you make orange juice.
Hmm.
But I don't want to teach you how to make orange juice from McDonald's. But just give me your oranges. That's how they do. Well, we teaching them how to, to do it and to market it to where, because there is no Filipino coffee like Folgers or Maxwell House. Yeah, there's no coffee like that. It's
Okay.
Folgers here, believe it or not. They have
Okay.
coffees, but there's no like. Another thing that we're doing, the first time that we're doing here, black folks, we trailblaze, is that we're doing the first, this coffee's a fruit, food ad campaigns. You see
Mm.
Starbucks, you see restaurants, but you don't see okra, cabbage, or coffee. Like a really nice on TV, on radio ad campaign promoting food.
Really?
You don't see it. And the rule out here in these expat streets is if they advertise it, it's not real.
Hmm.
That's the rule of thumb here, right? So we're going to be the first to we're already doing it, but we're the first to put out real food ads like just coffee, not
Okay.
Starbucks, not the can, not lattes, not black coffee. And then of course we're going to do some food later. Like we have mangoes that we sell with it sometimes, and chocolate we sell with it sometimes. It's also
Well,
local.
listen. Show us your brand. Show us your coffee brand so we see it in the
It's
U.S.
Yes, girl,
You have
I
no.
wish I would have gotten.
It's on your
This is
cup.
sorry, these
Yeah,
are empty, you guys, but
but you have
it
it on your
does go
cup.
bad, so we don't have stock. But it's black and white. It looks like
Don't you have the logo
See's
on your cup?
Candy.
The logo on your cup.
Sit-
Don't you have the logo on your
yeah, the
cup?
logo's there, and it comes in juice sacks. Hold on,
So, guys, I just read it says, yes, coffee is a cherry fruit. So I didn't know
yo,
coffee was a
it
cherry.
actually comes. See
I
the
just pulled
coffee?
it up. It said coffee is a
Oh, there
cherry
it is.
fruit.
Yeah, it's a cherry fruit. It comes
Hmm.
in these little juice sacks, actually, like traditional coffee, but inside
Okay.
of it is the plastic jar. These are our beans. And what they do is they keep the jar, and then we send the juice sack, and they refill the juice sack.
Oh
Or
wow.
they refill the plastic, so there's no
Yeah.
waste.
There's no
We
way.
promote coffee
Let
presses.
us see the logo on your cup. You have the logo on
And
your
here's the
cup, right? Yeah,
there you
Black
go, you
Wellness
guys.
Coffees. There we go.
Black
So
Wellness Coffee, you guys. Thank you very
yeah.
yeah, thank you very much. Um,
So listen, is
and
there any way that we could buy that coffee being in the US? There's no way.
Not yet, you guys. Not yet. Yeah, we're building the demand. Price
Okay.
Choppers waiting. All these folks, and terrible enough, black folks. I know you don't want to hear this. Trump, his idiot placement for the food, the RFK guy. He's a wellness guy.
Yeah.
I hate to even think that I have to wait. And if he does what he's supposed to do, our coffee will be allowed in the states then. Remember, he's a whole
Okay.
wellness, mushrooms, former addict, crazy. But the one thing he would open up for wellness companies like us to do in the States.
Oh,
But I'll tell
okay.
you
Well,
this, sister,
that may be
back
the
to
one
being an
good thing about
expat,
him because I don't like him neither.
he does what he's
He's,
trying to do with the food is real. I'll give
but
him
he
that because
but he said
we're
that
black.
black
They don't know we're
people.
black now. They don't know we
Wait a
black
minute.
now. They don't know we're a black
Wait a
company.
minute. Wait a minute. But he said that black people have our systems don't need the vaccine. That we should the schedule for our, that we're stronger than
Can,
other
can,
humans.
can I
Foolishness.
say
I don't
something?
like this guy. He's
Can
dangerous.
I say something that I
Yeah.
noticed? The first Filipinos are black, right? They're called Itis, and they're still here, and they look just like us, but they out in the bush. They don't want to come in the city. They didn't get no vaccines, not one. They ain't never been sick. I never heard any Ita up in them damn mountains get sick during COVID. Not one. And they don't do vaccines. They're like Indians, they're like the American Indians, right? They don't they don't mess with them. They respect them as their elders and their ancestors. And so when he said that, and being out here where there's no racism, it's true. I don't know about the vaccine specific. I'm not a doctor, but I do know there's certain things we just don't get that even Filipinos get, Chinese get. We don't get
Hmm.
sick like them. They can't even walk in the rain. They will literally, you'd be like, what do you mean? I can't go out in the rain, I'll get sick. I'm like, you, whatever. We can run in the rain, jog in the rain.
Some of us. Some of us.
If you think about it. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be why we got sick. We can
I get
sit in
it.
the fields being slaves all day long in the sun. Not you ain't never heard no skin cancer. You ain't never heard no heat stroke. Well, maybe you
I
did, but
hear what you're
but
saying, and I think we are
I think
strong
he's
people.
crazy.
But what I'm
But
saying
when
is
you
he's
travel, you
dangerous in
realize
America. It's dangerous in America. I understand you're kind of equating it to the internationally, but in America, if we all are being exposed to the same environmental issues, we all eat the worst food in the world. We all have all these issues. So we're being exposed just like everyone else, even if we had
which is
systems
what
that
I
were
was saying.
stronger.
But I'm gonna tell you this too. If
But let
they
me
if they
go
got
ahead.
exposed to it, they'd already be dead. We're
True, but I'm
living with
just
diabetes. We're living with gout. We're
so
living
are
with
white
sickle
folks.
cell.
Yeah,
But they dying, girl. They gone. The white folks get it though. They ain't living, just living. You know what I mean? A white person gets overweight, he's gone by 40 years old, 35 years old.
Oh wow, I
Filipinos
don't
are
know
not
about that.
getting gout. And I'm not agreeing with him. I'm just
I don't know
saying that
about
I
that.
have noticed that there's just something we are different in that way.
I think we're
Something is
stronger,
stronger.
but I think
Yeah.
it's very dangerous in this country, especially being exposed to where we are, to say that we get less of because we're just black. The body does not. The body. Everybody kidneys in their
I agree
back.
with you. I agree with you
E-
100%.
Everybody's heart
I
is in
think
their
he's
left chest.
jealous. I think he's jealous. And
Whatever
I
he
think it
is,
is
he's
true.
dangerous.
But when you get out here, I'm 52 years old. I have no medications. I don't
And
have
we're
high
here.
blood.
And all of us on
Yeah, but
medication.
so hence y'all need to leave at least part time, or you can at least get you a month of some
I
real
love it.
food, real vegetables,
That's
real
true.
eggs, real sunshine, no mental stress, no pollution, because that's our true environment. And when you
Yeah.
get out, you start realizing how powerful you really are because all of the things you're saying go away. I agree with you with
Mhm.
him. That's why I say he's crazy. Don't get me wrong, he's completely cuckoo. But when it comes to my business, he don't know I'm black. If he knew he was black, he'd probably be like, whoa, 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 wait. But I just happen to be in that lump of
Mhm.
wellness foods that they're getting ready to require by law in America that are already
Good.
required here. You
That's
don't want
good.
to give another note. In America, Trump is putting tariffs. Do you know there's a 50% tariff already or 100% tariff already on American stuff here? Been for the
Wow.
last decade. When you buy these Nest cafes, usually you pay double. When you buy
Mm.
at McDonald's, it's double.
Oh wow.
Like you don't think about it, when you're because it's expensive. It's just you just think, oh, it's expensive, it's bougie. But when you're in the Philippines, they already charge you when you drink this sugary fake food.
Oh
And
wow.
Duterte did that. Everyone hated him, but he's the one who did that. Um, and so, and another thing too. Oh my God, I hate to sound like I'm a Republican. If they get rid of the expat double taxation for Americans abroad, again, they ain't trying to benefit black folks. But if you're black and you abroad,
They
you're going
already
to pay
get rid
double
of that.
taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're going to get
that's
rid of that.
coming down the pipe. Yeah, I saw
hmm
that they're coming
Which
down the pipe
means
with that.
that I'm invested in a coffee company in the Philippines, and I'll tell you more about why I invested into it, not just about the coffee, because pretty soon I won't be. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
That's
stopping.
fine.
Pretty soon I won't be double taxed. So what happens is that I'll
So
be able
tell
to
us what
sit
that
up
means.
and invest here and
Tell us what
not
that
be
means.
not.
Double tax. Tell us what that means. If we
I'll give
don't
you an
know what
example.
that means.
Let me tell you why it came up. Let me tell you why it came up because white folks don't. If it ain't benefiting them, they don't do it. Let me tell you why it came up. It's a known thing here in Asia and in business that Donald Trump paid more in taxes here in the Philippines when he was in office last time than he did in the United States. And the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines is very proud of that. They're like, he ain't getting us. So
Mm-hmm.
when he put the building here, when he did whatever he was doing, he paid tax. It's not a lot. Maybe it's like $5,000. It ain't a lot, but he paid zero in America, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what happened is that he was double taxed because he invested here. He maybe made some money and they like that. So what happened is now they notice it. So if you're retired here, if you invest here, if you make money in the abroad, anywhere in the world actually, and you're an American, I think there's only 4 countries in the whole world who do that. You have to pay tax back home. So that's why I promote live simple, live below your means, because technically on paper in America, I'm poverty. Well, I'm not anymore. I did had a very good last couple of years, but for the first 5 years I was abroad, I was making less than 35,000 a year technically. You
So
know,
you pay
but they saw.
taxes in the Philippines and you
Oh
pay
yeah,
in America. So you
yes,
pay
ma'am.
taxes in both places. So that means double
hmm
taxation.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Got it.
So,
Got it.
but now that they're getting rid of it, now it makes sense for more of us to invest abroad, buy homes, invest in businesses, things that make money, not just buy a
Yeah.
house to show off, but literally
Yeah.
open up a damn salon,
Mm-hmm.
open up a barbershop, like open a grocery store. Like now
Yeah.
they're seeing that stuff. But I'll tell you the reason why I invested in the coffee. Once I got into it from the farm level, I realized one, there's no blacks in it. Black folks were lucky to get into a situation where we're in a coffee shop even, so I invested in it because I saw, well, there's no blacks here, and I saw that from the farm to the coffee shop or to the grocery store or to your house and the coffee machine, that's the money.
Mm-hmm.
But usually we brag about, oh, I got a coffee shop, oh, I got my own brew in a bag or something, but I'm like, it's a black and brown product, but there's no black and brown people at the farm,
Mm-hmm.
like at that level, right? to where when you call from America to get coffee, you got to call me. We're not
Yeah.
there. So that's one thing. And I was shocked at how profitable it was. Coffee
Mm,
from that level is just as profitable as my business that does websites, does magazines. My development company is less profitable than coffee, actually.
mm,
And the other thing is, I'm 52. How am I going to retire doing websites and development and events and shows every single day? But this coffee, I can sip this coffee at a grocery store and walk away and it sells. Or if
mm,
I do sell some coffee, you give me your $10 and I walk away. Whereas if I sell you
mm.
a website, you give me a deposit. Now I got to go do a website. I got to deal with you for like a month. I got to kiss your butt. I got to check in the .com. I got to do work. I was like, I can never retire. So I
Mhm.
started realizing, and of course, them folks are ahead of us. I started realizing that's why they're in it. Because you know what we forget? It's food.
Yeah, it is.
We're in food. It's not coffee, it's food, which
It's
is why
food.
they block it at the FDA, which is why it's hard to get in, which is why they discriminate because you're getting in food now. And they
I learned
realize
something today.
that's a lot of money.
I learned that today. I did not know coffee was a fruit. I thought it was a bean, but it says, but the coffee bean is the seed inside the fruit. I had no idea. So I learned something from you today that coffee is actually a fruit. The bean is the seed inside of the fruit. Had no idea. So when you get into
And
the
it's a
coffee
black and
business,
brown fruit.
you're in
It's
a
only in our
food.
countries, girl.
Yeah, it's
Ain't no
only
coffee in
in
England.
yeah, of course.
Ain't no
The
coffee
soil
in New
isn't rich
York.
enough. It's the soil. Yeah, it's the soil. Yeah, you gotta have rich soil for coffee. This is a listen. I learned a lot from you, Kareen. So if a person wanted to come to the Philippines, what's the first thing they should do?
But one, you got to get a passport.
Of course, I
And
mean in
brother,
the
I'm
U.S. We
sorry if
have
you got
all of that.
child support, if you got felonies, you can't go nowhere. Um, but I'll tell you one thing, we don't think about it, but what saved me is we came as a family. My dad,
Mm,
my stepmother, and me. You don't need to be alone. You don't need to be single. I saw some one of your comments mentioning that that's great, but I got kids, I got family, I can't just leave or something like
you
that.
can.
And the truth of it is, that's why you need to leave. You can't.
Ooh.
I went to the American International School at elementary to junior high. When I came
Mhm.
back to the States in high school and junior high, which I didn't have at my school in Africa at the time, I was 2 years advanced. I sat out for a year because I was further advanced. But I still graduated when I was 17 years old. That's how much of a head start that private school, and I was the only Black American in the school, by the way, in Africa at the American International School, all
Mhm.
white kids. So you have a chance to be the
Did you
man
say
that you
all white
want to
kids? Did you say all
be.
white kids?
I was the only Black American kid at school.
I thought you mean Black American. They were Africans, but you're saying they were
Nah,
all
the
white.
Africans got their own school. So how you couldn't afford that in America. Your kids wouldn't have that exposure. And they were German,
Oh,
they were Russian, they were American,
hmm,
diplomat kids, of course, came to school in
diplomat kids.
helicopters and shit. So it was one of those
Wow.
things, yeah, like you go to these schools, but when you get the dollars, it's no different than going to the local Pepperdine school.
Sure,
But what
sure.
happens is that gentlemen, it's because men are watching a lot and ladies are talking to your sons, your husbands, you get to be the man that you always wanted to be. Because in this
Mhm,
country, my people who work for me, they're single. They don't have their wives don't work. No,
mhm.
you can work at McDonald's here and have a single income. So now your woman ain't you don't all those issues are gone.
Yeah.
You ain't paying daycare. Grandma's at home. So you can work at McDonald's or some little rinky regular old job, making
Yes,
$500 a month
and live fine.
and feed your whole family and be a man.
Wow.
Your girl ain't cussing you out. She ain't
That's
telling you you
attractive.
ain't shit. So the whole disposition. My stepmother never worked, even when she was in
That's
Africa. She didn't do that. I think she had a jazz size class. She had a little jazz class for all the expat ladies back in the day. That's all she
that is
did. So it's
very
one.
attractive. Very
So yeah,
attractive.
I would say get a passport so far out you can even leave. And then the next thing I would say is talk to yourself or your family that you got and downsize. Really
Mhm.
figure out. When we get older, what do we want?
Okay.
If I was 75 years old right now, because most folks in America can't retire at 65 years old, they get retired to the 70. If I was 70, what would I want? What would I want to be? And then start that. And then abroad, the other thing I would say is learn how to not be addicted to materialism.
Hmm.
You know, most people, it's hard for them to be happy on the beach. They want it, it's okay for a week or two looking cute in a little outfit. But when you learn how to bring that laptop and
Hmm.
work on a beach, like coffee, I can be anywhere and I can sell it. Whereas I don't need to do your website. I don't need to do magazines. So what I realized is even though I was an entrepreneur and had over 5,000 clients in my career, I got 1,000 clients here. I'm building their businesses. I'm doing their logos, their advertising. Remember, Starbucks is my client. Nestle, which is Unilever, was my client. So I'm the one pushing this. I'm doing their ads. But at the end of the day, how am I going to retire? So I had my team say, we're going to invest all of our efforts, all of our marketing, all of our showmanship, all of our graphics, and we're going to build this brand of our own. So this year is the 2025, while you're my first show, we don't have any other clients. We have maybe two or three that we can't get rid of that they've had for years. They play every month for years. But besides those, one's an app, one's a magazine that we help publish, and the other ones are like different miscellaneous websites. But no other clients. There's no advertisers. When you watch my show, there's no commercials anymore. There's no Ford commercials. There's no United Airlines commercials. It's just coffee. We're pushing our own brand. And more Black folks, we need to take our branding back. Because when we retire, what do you have? That's the
401k.
problem. But when you're abroad, you can do that. There's no
I
red
have
tape. There's
I
no
have the
racism.
401k and pension. See, that's what we caught up in the 401k and the pension. And let me tell you something,
And you get
Kareem.
the 401k and the pension because you built their company.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. So it's really not yours. You're building. So you got to give to get. In other words, this what you're saying to us is very important, and this is why I do International Sundays. You're a part of the Men in Black series, but we do International Sundays because we want Black people to understand that you do not have to be in the U.S. You do not have to stay in this rat race. You do not have to continue to be stressed out and go through the things that we're going through in America. There are other options, and we got to look into these options. And people say, "Well, where would I go?" Just travel and see what you like. You never know what you like. And so because there's a
And and,
lot of
and, and
expatriate
can I put a
settlements all
caveat,
over the
sis?
US, all over the country.
Can I put a
There's a,
caveat in there? Can I put a caveat in there that they
go
get
ahead.
scared of? You don't need to leave America. Just part time. Leave in the winter, like the white folks do. They're not here full time.
But if you
If
work
you're
a
on Social
job, you can't
Security, you
live
can leave
there.
for 6 months and still get your Social Security and go back every 6 months.
But that's the problem. We're on jobs that we got to work every day. It sounds good, but we can't. So how do we do this? We have to just say enough. That's just what it is. We got to say
And you got
enough.
to look at your numbers. If
Yeah.
you're making $2,000 a month after you pay transportation, food, laundry, everything for that job, how much do you really have left? That's what you really earn. If you didn't have to go get out, leave the house and do gas and do what, get dry cleaning and get your hair done to go to that job, have lunch money and dinner money or whatever it is, taxes, all those things. When you get all of that's done, the house you live in, the car, your car, you probably only drive to work. You ain't driving on vacations. You ain't doing road trips. Are you doing Uber on the weekends? So if you didn't have to do any of that, how much money is really left in your pocket with
Mhm.
after all that? And say that's $500, then that's really what you're working for. So if you didn't have to leave the house or you didn't have to be in that city and you could have $500 in your pocket, then you would notice a thing because you don't need to
Wow.
go to work. You don't need to remember. I'm doing dry cleaning $200 a week before. If you see me in a suit, it was $1,000 to $3,000. Come on, guys. You know we have to have the couplings. We got to have the shoes, the Stacey Adams. We can't walk. We had to have the briefcase. You didn't just work. You had to invest in that stuff,
Now
right?
they're doing
Not to
Jordan.
mention time,
Yeah,
traffic too.
yeah.
So when you look up, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think that's what scares them. They don't realize, no, if you didn't have that job tomorrow, don't look at what you would lose. Look at what would you really have. You don't need all that stuff. It's all from the job, usually the lifestyle. And a lot of times, white folks send their kids abroad when they're in college. There's a reason. It's the experience. And I'll tell you the other thing that we forget, and we know it as black folks. Everything is from outside of America anyway.
Hmm.
So if you're in Africa, there's energy, there's cobalt, there's food, there's so many ways to make money that we don't really think about because in America, all we do is consume.
Yeah,
We don't
that's so true.
create. We
We
don't
don't create.
produce. So,
Yeah.
so we don't realize. Give you another example. I know a sister who's a doctor here in the Philippines, a sister, black girl, beautiful Instagram girl. This girl, money, she owns chicken farms in South Africa. That's her
Hmm.
money.
Hmm.
And I mean like three, four, 5,000 chickens. I don't mean no damn American Ronald McDonald farm, okay?
Hmm.
So, I'm sitting going, why don't they tell black Americans all the chicken that we love? Why don't we own any
Because
farms?
you would be free. You cannot control people who have yeah, you can't control people who have their own source of income. And so what we got to do is get our children passports. We got to get passports. We got to go out of this country. And I'm not saying everybody should move and be an expatriate, but we need experiences so we know that there's other things out in the world. We are international citizens. Understand that, black people. We are international citizens. We are not citizens of just the US. We are citizens of the world. So travel the world, see new things, and listen, like, share, subscribe to Black Box Radio. Those are three things you got to do. But yes, Kareem, we've been here an
Definitely.
hour and almost 30 minutes. I so appreciate this. You have opened the door to you've opened the box internationally to the Men in Black series. We have 8 black men. Kareem is one of 8. We are on tomorrow. We're on Tuesday. We're on Wednesday with black men this whole month. Next week,
And
we're
you
on.
guys,
Go ahead.
and remember, now I'm going to give you, don't forget you guys, Kwame's here, Maurice is here,
Yeah.
Sydney, Troy, Malcolm, Jamal, and Nati. How you say his name? Nati.
Natu. It's Brother Natu. Brother
Okay.
Natu.
I'm just giving you some crap. She got a lineup for y'all. So you guys, God bless you, sister.
Listen, let me tell you something. I know you could tell you have a show because you done ran the show. So I'm so glad to be on your show today. I can tell you run a show. I can tell, but it's a beautiful thing. And I'm so glad you gave us this information. I wish you well with your coffee brand. You're gonna have to send me some coffee and send me some of that stuff. You gotta send me that fruit. I gotta see what's up with that. But I definitely want folks to listen, chime in. We have to celebrate black men. So this Men in Black series is for everyone, but it's definitely for us to give our black men a big up. Give them some love. We're gonna ashe our black men all month. We have 8 men. This is one of 8. We are here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Brother Kwame is gonna open up the doors in the state. He's gonna open up the box. So come in 8 o'clock tomorrow, same place, same time. We're gonna be in the Men in Black series. Happy Black History Month. We're walking in the history. 2 of 8 tomorrow. I want you to leave a jewel with the people, and we out of here. Give us something good, brother.
Well, first of all, you guys
Kareem.
give credit and tribute to these sisters out here that are making these things happen. Sorry, you guys. It's Monday morning, guys. Making this thing happen. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You don't have to leave America to be abroad. You can. The benefit. Our ancestors died not so we could sit up there and drink Starbucks, so we could be citizens of America and get the passport. And anywhere you go in the world, you know what a passport is? It's slave freedom papers. That's what it means. It means you can leave that plantation and go anywhere for a day, for a year. I've been gone for 12 years. And when I first came here for 5 years, I didn't even make any dollars. The universe, God blessed me to make money out here, to live out here. There is no racism like you think. There's no one holding us back. They may look at us differently, but they're not. And the fact that here, $1,000 equals 55,000 pesos. The average Filipino makes $500 a month. Don't judge it like white folks do. Just listen, thinking, so you can live here if you struggling, I'm not talking to you. If you rich and you bougie brothers, I ain't talking to you. But all them brothers, the average black American makes $50,000 a year before
Yeah.
taxes. So you only making 30 G's.
Ooh.
You poor. You broke. How can you afford to take your girl out for a drink? How can you afford to pay for your kids? So all the stress and things y'all going through, all the issues you're having are because you're stuck sitting trying to live in this rat race and understand God made this whole world for us. And black
Yeah.
people, men and women, we are the only people besides whites who can go anywhere on this earth and survive and be accepted and be loved. You hear the disconnect and the criticisms and things like that with passport bros or whatever, but don't look at it like that. You can find love, you can find money, you can find business anywhere in this world. You do not have to be in the hood. So if you're rich, good for you. But if you're making less than $100,000 a year before taxes, you need your damn passport.
Mm.
If you're a stylist, a barber, a beautician, if you promote parties, if you do a car wash, any of those things, you need to leave America because you can charge double. Because out here, you're a commodity. You're different. The
Mm.
99-cent store out here is $2. The burger the Big Mac, the 99-cent Big Mac is $2 here
Oh
because
wow.
it's an import. So what
Yeah.
happens is, and tell you the other thing, you get around better quality people. Because here, if you make $25,000 a year or more, you're a millionaire in Ghana, you're a millionaire in the Philippines, you're a
Mm.
millionaire. So all your friends here are peso millionaires too. So now all of a
Mm.
sudden, all your friends got a little, they millionaires.
Yeah.
You the broke one. So you don't have to do and deal with the things you want to deal with. And again, I said this to you guys, you can be enough and you can be the man that you want to be. And if your girl ain't with you, tell her we got to go. Bring them kids. I'm sick of arguing with you. I'm sick of being unhealthy. I'm sick of I don't want no divorce. We might as well try it
Yeah. Yeah.
and try it and go back and forth. If you got Social Security, you can leave America for 6 months
Yeah.
and go back and forth and keep your benefits.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. 90% of the expats out here are white folks. So if you don't
Wow.
believe black folks, follow the white folks. They
Ooh.
already out here. So if you don't believe in us, you think that we stupid or you don't know what we're talking about, well, the white folks are already here.
Oh wow.
So I'm saying, get out there. And happy Black History Month too, by the way. Thank you guys. I'm glad, sister. I'm really glad.
Listen,
Men in Black
I enjoyed
2025.
this conversation so much. I don't have to say much. I love when my the person who sits with me runs the show. I love it. So I appreciate you.
I'm not running the show.
No, you've
I'm,
actually
I'm just I'm
given
here
so much
guesting.
information. No, you've given so much information. I'm saying that with all love. You've given amazing information. You've told black men things that I couldn't tell black men because a lot of times black men are the head of the family and they don't want to hear it from a woman because we're not the head. And so another man telling another man that you can make it, you can take care of your kids, you can be enough, and you could do some great things outside of America. That's a beautiful thing. So I appreciate that. I really do. And because this is why we do International Sundays. I want folks to see more that the diaspora, first of all, is rich. And that second of all, there's possibilities and you can leave America and do great things. So this has been the Men in Black series 2025. Kareem Jackson is one of 8. We got 7 more black men to present this month. I want you guys to tap in, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube platform, Black Box Radio. We'll see you here tomorrow. Kareem, thank you for letting us come to Bulacan, Philippines. We appreciate you. Thanks so much. Goodbye. Don't go nowhere. You stay there. Good night, everyone. We're gone. It's nighttime here, Kareem. I know it's morning time there, but it's nighttime here. Everyone, you have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we have Kwame. I can't say his last name. I think it's Apaya. So we have him tomorrow. We're going to talk about being black and a man in America. See you tomorrow. Deuces. Let me get some deuces over there. Get some deuces, bro. Them deuces. Yes, peace. Don't go
Okay.
nowhere. Good night. Good night, Black Box.